Hey out there, hope you're all well. I just wanted to do a quick video on Shutterstock. Now, Shutterstock is a site that we all tend to dump on a little bit just because of the way they restructured contributor commissions on sales, and it kind of negatively affected a lot of people that kind of were invested in this site. And yeah, so I made a video on that myself, sort of expressing my dismay. But, you know, sometimes it's good to be positive and look at things for what they can provide or give us. Not exactly a gratitude video here, but what I did want to do is do a quick video on 6 things that I actually still really like about Shutterstock, and I think make Shutterstock a worthwhile platform. Some of these things are actually beneficial as well. You can use these to sort of increase your Shutterstock your microstock game, I think, generally beyond the Shutterstock platform. So, and not all of them will, but I still like them. So let's just get going on that. So the first thing that I really like is the Shutterstock keyword tool. So yeah, you can go into your uploads page, select the keyword tool, takes you in to this place. You can search images, and then you can select the keywords that you want and even add those to a clipboard and then save them. So yeah, I just find this is a great tool for those images that you're not sure about. I mean, keywording is really important. So it's fast, it's easy, and it's got a great functionality in the fact that you can add those to a clipboard. And so it's not just about the Shutterstock images per se. You can take those keywords that you've selected on Shutterstock, add them to a clipboard, and then you can take them or use them elsewhere. You can save them however you save them. Personally, I add them to the if I use this tool, I add them to the images, the metadata of my images in Lightroom. So yeah, the keyword tool is great. I know other sites have it, but I just don't think it's as good. So that's the first thing that I really like about Shutterstock. I should say that I'm not necessarily providing these in any specific order. They're just things that I like. So number 2 is the catalog manager. The catalog manager is great because you can organize your images by subject or location or however you want or type. And the great thing about it is you can add images into multiple catalogs. So you could have a catalog that's sort of based on the city where you live, but maybe you're shooting architecture as well. And so you want it also in your architecture catalog. And you add all these in. And I think as your portfolio grows, it becomes more and more useful as a tool because you can see pretty quickly how much specific subject areas are making, if you use the tool properly. And that's what I try to do. I look at those categories in my catalog that I've created. I try to set them up in multiple ways, and then I can use that to sort of generate some additional data above a single image level on what type of image is selling, whether a category of like a subject matter or a category of images that I'm shooting is not working, is failing. Then I can maybe use that information to decide, you know what, maybe I'll just focus on this other area. You can also look at the numbers of the files in that subject, so you can see how comprehensive your catalog is on that area. So it's a super useful tool. I'm sure there's a ton of ways to use it that I haven't mentioned right now, but I just love the catalog. It's a great feature. I wish they all had it. All the microstock sites had it, because it is a fabulous way to understand how your portfolio works and how buyers are using your images. It's a great tool. Okay, the third thing that I really like is the top performers tool. So you can go in and you can look at your images that are selling, and also the amount that is being generated by those sales. So it is downloads, but it also is total value. What I really like about it is you can see all time, which is great. But I find the all time sales function is a little bit less useful just because I generally know what's sold really well and what hasn't. What I like to do is to look at the narrower date ranges, and you can see what's working right now. Like you can check what's sold the most in 3 months, and 12 months. So this really helps, I think, if you use all three levels of or like all the available levels of analysis to determine what's selling. You can see, you can create sort of a way to look at your trend lines and see, okay, well this was selling for years, but now it's not selling, and this one is. And so I think where that comes in really useful is if you're making changes. For example, you're maybe changing the way you're processing images to a little bit more of a stylized color treatment, it's more trendy or current trends. And so if you're doing that kind of thing, then you can actually see if those changes that you're making are maybe working, or maybe the old images is still, or the old way of your processing is still selling really well. So those are the ways. Like looking at the top performers tool is not just a sort of an ego trip to see how great you are. If you're smart, you'll be using those to see what is working for you, what used to work, and what's working now, and how that all fits together. So it's a fabulous tool to just keep track of and see where you're going. And of course, all the sites are different and things sell differently on the sites, but I think generally, what you learn at Shutterstock is probably going to be fairly transferable elsewhere. Okay, the fourth thing I was going to talk about was the latest downloads map. This maybe is probably the least useful from a sort of a statistic point of view, but I just love it. I love seeing where people are buying the images, and they pop up and they come from all over the world. And it's just, it's just one of those sort of, it's like the icing on the cake, it's this great feature that just adds to the contributor experience. I really like it. I wish the other sites did something similar. I'm sure they could. And you could even get a little bit out of it. Like I look at it in a way to see how much of the images that I sell are coming from my geographic location, because that is sort of important to me, is to understand, because I do shoot a lot in the Calgary / Alberta / Rocky Mountain area. Are people in my area actually buying my images? Because if they're not, then that's that's a problem. Because if graphic designers in Calgary aren't buying my images, why would anyone else? So for me, it is a useful tool. Maybe not the most useful, but I think it's pretty cool, and I like it a lot. So that's I think I'm on 4, right? The map, cool. Okay, the fifth thing that I think Shutterstock does really well is the earnings summary page. I think they do it better than the other sites. Adobe does a good job too, but I think Shutterstock is great here. The way that the earnings are presented, you have that tabular format, and you can select which type of license that you want to look at, right from sort of the single or the subscription sales right over to your referrals. And when you select into those specific days, or you can go the month very easily, and you can actually see the actual images that have sold. So you don't just see an image title or something like a number with a whatever on it. You actually see the image, and so you get a better sense of what's selling. And I find it really easy to use, and of course you can export it out. But I really love how the earnings page is displayed, how it's set up, and how easy it is to navigate and sort of see what's going on with your sales and what's working and what's not. And it's a great tool. Okay, the sixth thing, and this is the last thing that I want to talk about in this video. It's super cool. It's a newer feature. I don't know when it was added, because I didn't actually notice it, and I don't often pay attention to the sort of the blogs or the updates on their site. But that's, you can select any image, and then you can see how it's doing. They have, this is hot or whatever it is, or never seen, never used. And I think it's a great tool, and I've kind of tried to independently verify this tool by looking at my own images, knowing what's actually sold. And I think they do correspond, or this does correspond pretty accurately to the image. So what I like to do is I like to look at locations, particularly if I'm going to shoot it soon, or if I want to update my portfolio with new images in that area, or just to see what's selling. Like, I was looking through drone shots of Calgary the other day because I don't have a drone, not yet anyway. And I was just seeing if drone shots were selling, and to try to decide whether it's actually something that I want to do is to get a drone. Is it worthwhile? And so I was selecting sort of the aerial views of Calgary's downtown using the drone shots, and lots of them were. The evidence was that they were getting a lot of sales. So to me, that's like real-time usable data to show that purchasing a new tool might actually be worth it, and might actually help me make more money on microstock. So yeah, I just love this feature. I think it's great. Hopefully the Shutterstock continues to innovate and provide similar sort of tools like this that really help creators. So, I mean, even if you're mad at Shutterstock and you don't want to upload there, you should at least have an account there, and you should at least be using it as a place to generate data that you can use elsewhere. Personally, I think Shutterstock is still one of the better sites, and it's a site to be on. It's a site that you can sell images on, and it's just a great contributor experience. I would love to have Adobe and Shutterstock sort of get married and have a kid, and the outcome of that would be fantastic, because then you have a site that does sell pretty well and is on the upswing, and also has a great interface for the contributor experience, because it's not just about buyers per se. I mean, you want to get them in, but you want to have a site that gives contributors as much as they can possibly get. And yeah, I love it. I love those features. I mean, I love other things about Shutterstock. But yeah, I just want to make this video positive. Building good karma. Hopefully that helps, although I know wishful thinking. Anyway, just want to say that. I just also want to wish everyone out there a great holiday season, and I'm not sure how many videos now I'll make before the new year. Hope to get out and do some vlogs out in the countryside, despite the sort of minus 25 it was today. But yeah, like I said, have a great holiday season. Have a great Christmas. All the best. New Year's. And I'll probably see you with my next earnings report early 2022. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.